suspension. In other words, it also means increasing and adding to something. In English, riba is frequently rendered as interest or usury. It is fee for using another person's money or lending money at an interest rate that is judged unreasonable or higher than the legal rate. The meaning of riba has been clarified in the following passages of the Quran. All those who trust, fear Allah and keep up what remains of the riba if you are believers. But if you do not do so, beware of war from Allah and His Messenger. If you repent even now, you are entitled to a return of your capital. You will not do wrong and you will not be wrong. This verse clarifies that the term riba refers to any additional compensation above and beyond the principal without sufficient consideration. Nevertheless, the Quran does not explicitly prohibit all forms of surplus, as it is prevalent in trade, which is legitimate. The excess declared haram in the Quran is known as riba. The prohibition of usury or riba emerged 4 times in the Quran. These insights are divided into 4 levels of a ban, as follows. What you spend to increase people's wealth will not increase in the sight of God. But what you arrange for alms seeking the pleasure of Allah, there are the ones who have a double reward. Even though the prohibition of the riba in the Quran has 4 stages, the reason behind the ayah is all the same, which is that those who use riba will be harshly chastised. Muslims are commanded to cancel all arrears riba and were instructed to take just the principal amount and leave it even if the debtor was facing financially difficulty. Fear Allah and it will be the best for you. Furthermore, Islamic and Western scholars also criticize the use of riba and usury in economic transactions. The Prophet Muhammad's condemnation of usury was well established during his lifetime. It was strengthened by numerous of the Prophet's teaching in the Quran, which dates back to roughly 600 AD. Moreover, according to Chaudhry and Malik, Islamic economists in 1992, the ban of interest was an established operating principle that was integrated into the Islamic economic system during the reign of Khalifa Umar. Razi, a modern Islamic economist, states that one of the reasons for the ban on usury is that the lender will get wealthy while the borrower's finance will lower. According to the modernists, the ban on usury ethically sustains socio-economic transformation in society. Complementary work of early 20th century socio-economic reformists like Douglas, Fisher, Simons, and Saudi give rise to another school of modern interest critics. Their main point was that commercial banks with a monopoly on money or the process of credit formulation are incorrect and undesirable. It was immoral and fraudulent for banks to charge interest, even to the government, on the money they had generated out of thin air with no opportunity cost of sacrifice. Riba as an exploitation of the poor. According to Ruston, usury is still used to exploit the poor today. He used the conclusions of a 1992 policy studies the Institute reports, for example, which suggests that the poor value their money more highly and seek credit solely for absolute necessities rather than funding the purchase of affluent things that they are unable to afford. Next, Riba is an unfair wealth redistribution mechanism. Several traditions agree that usury operates as an instrument via which the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. A financial interest is forbidden in Islam because it violates the principle distributive equity, which aims to uphold the political religion of the economy. Interest in any quantity acts as transferring wealth from the asset segment of the people, according to the Chaudhry and Malik. Biruni, a self-described individualist, come to the same conclusion that interest, by making the capital a quasi-monopoly, effectively precludes the creation of a truly competitive system. Contemporary issues relate to the use of interest or usury in economic transactions. In a contemporary economy where interest is a major component, operating within the framework of Islamic economies may need a necessary shift in objectives and attitudes. Under classic capitalist frameworks, credit becomes impossible to manage without interest. To avoid the use of interest in economic transactions, these interest rates can be substituted with profit sharing, the sale of things at cost, or even leasing. This suggestion has been encouraged by Islamic economists. These options will avoid the need for speculative and artificial interest rate manipulation techniques. Islamic economists also agree that this will be beneficial. A creditor could also become a partner in a contract between an investor and entrepreneur. In Islamic economies, banks must earn profits by investing in productive projects rather than relying primarily on interest rates to produce returns.